Hey there, this is Justin from makeuseof.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best lesser-known features of the Galaxy S7. Because Samsung does a good job of packing a lot of features into their devices, but because of that, a lot of them can get buried in the settings menu, or they don't have very intuitive ways of accessing them. So a lot of people have these devices and don't even know that they have some of these great features. So I just want to take a look at a few of the best, and I'm going to start with the split screen mode. So the easiest way to access this is to simply open an app. I'm going to start with Chrome here. And with the app open, you just hold the Recents button, which is next to the left of the Home button. Then you'll get this little menu at the bottom where you can select any other app that is compatible with split screen mode, because not all of the apps are, but as you can see, quite a lot of them are. So I'll select Memo. And then either your apps are split halfway in the screen, but you can drag this little circle to move them up or down. You can also tap the circle to get a few more options. All the way to the left, those two arrows, those switch the apps, so the top goes to the bottom and the bottom goes to the top. The next app allows you to copy and paste content from one or the other. The two arrows pointing inwards at each other will minimize the app, and the arrows going outwards will expand the app, and the X will close the app. So for now, let's just exit out of this, and I'll go home, and we'll look at the next way to do this, which is to tap the Recents key. And any app that is compatible with split screen mode will have this little two-line icon. You see Settings doesn't have it, but Memo and Chrome do. So I'll tap it on Chrome. Chrome will go up into the top half, and then I can select Memo, and we're back here where we started. So those are the two ways of accessing the split screen mode. Now the next one I want to talk about is the pop-up view. So before we do that, let's minimize this. And you can see the Memo moves into this little circular icon, which you can leave off to the side of your screen, or you can leave in the middle of your screen if I don't know why you would want to do that. But so one of the ways that you can access pop-up mode is to have a minimized app like this, and then just tap on it. It will open up in this little pop-up view, which you can keep over top of anything else as you scroll, as you open other apps. And it makes it really easy to multitask that way. If you press the home button, it will go back down into its little pop-up view. So for now, let's close this one, and let's look at another way that you can open this. So make sure that in your settings, under Advanced Features, you have Pop-Up View Gesture turned on. And once you have that on, you can open any app that is compatible with it. So let's go to Chrome for now. And you have to drag in from the top left corner, which can be a little tricky to do on apps with a lot of gestures, but there you go. So Chrome is now minimized in this little thing. You can expand it or minimize it more just by dragging on any of the four corners. That's really easy, and I like that. Okay, but let's look at the third way of opening a pop-up view app, and that is to go into the Recents menu, and any app that has the split screen icon on it, you can simply tap and hold on it, and that will open it in a little pop-up window, and you can choose where you want to put it, and you're back to having a pop-up app. So those are two multitasking features that are really unique to Samsung devices. I mean, even stock Android doesn't have a multi-window feature or a floating window feature yet. So if you are getting a Samsung device, those are really standout features. So let's go ahead and look at the next one, which is private mode. So I'll go into the settings, I'll go to privacy and safety, and I will go to private mode. For this, you need to have a pin set. So I've set mine up just as 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't recommend that as your pin, but as you can see, it explains down here that these are the apps where you can put things into private mode, and you get a little icon at the top that's like a locked book kind of thing. So while this is on, you can go into any app, any of those apps that I mentioned before, and you can lock things. So let's go into the voice recorder, and I can select this last voice recording that I have, and I can say move to private, and it is now moved to private. So if I go back to my settings, go back to privacy and safety, and I turn off private mode, now none of that private content is available. So my phone, as it is regularly, if I give it to someone, they cannot go to my voice recorder and find that recording. It's hidden in private mode. I need to go back and enter my PIN to be able to access the private content. So that's a really good way of keeping some of your stuff private if there's things you don't want family members or friends to see when you hand over your phone. All right, so the next feature we're going to look at is SOS Messages. So this one is under Advanced. Nope, I lied. It is under Privacy and Safety. Again, this is under Send SOS Messages. I'm not going to turn this on right now because I don't want to set a contact, but as you can see, you can set a contact, then you can choose if you want to attach pictures or an audio recording when it sends. All you have to do is press the power key quickly 3 times and it will send that off. So if you're nervous about walking through somewhere that's dark or isolated, you can have this at hand and all you have to do is tap that power button 3 times and it can send pictures and audio recordings to a trusted contact. So that's a pretty nice feature to have built in, and since it's built in, you get that 3 power button shortcut, which some other apps can't offer you. Okay, so the next one that we're going to look at is Game Tools. So Game Tools is under Advanced Features. It's under Games and under Game Tools. Just make sure you have that checked on. And you can also in here, you can set some of the recording options. So it'll give you a little profile icon. You can also choose to record from a camera or if you want game audio. So let's go ahead and jump into a game really quickly. You get a little bubble that stays off to the side and you can tap it. And you get all of these options. So you can lock the back and recents key, which is really convenient because those can really get in the way on the S7. You can also turn off alerts during the game, minimize it, take a screenshot, or record. So if you minimize it, it looks like those other floating windows did. You just get the game floating over here. But this is a really nice little feature if you are used to mobile gaming. All right, so let's look at the next one, which is Night Clock, which I can't show you, but I can show you how to access it. So it is not under lock screen and security. It is under display. And then you just turn on Night Clock and you can choose when you want it going. So I have it set to all day, but you can easily just set it to, you know, the evening. This is intended so you can just set your phone on your end table and it uses the S7 edge to show the time so that you have an alarm clock that you can just kind of glance at. The next feature you want to look at is also in here. It's called the Keep Screen Turned Off. It's just a toggle. There's no screen to look at. But basically it uses the proximity sensor of your phone and the light sensors to make sure that if it is in your pocket or in a bag, turned off and it doesn't accidentally turn on and start texting or calling people on accident. So that's actually a really convenient feature that I like, especially since the home button on the S7 is so prone to being tapped when it's in your pocket or in a bag. So the next one we can look at is pinning windows, which is pretty buried in here. It is under lock screen and security, and then under other security settings, and then way down here. So you just need to make sure pin windows is turned on. And once you're there, you just tap the recents key. You can only do it for the app that you're currently in, but you have to pull it up and you see this little light blue pin button. Tap that, hit start. You are now pinned inside this app, so you cannot pull down from the notification tray. You can't leave the settings app in any way. You're stuck in here. The way to turn it off is to hold the recents and the back keys at the same time. And now it is no longer locked on the screen and I can move around. As you saw, you can set a pin for that so that when you've pinned an app, the person can't get out of it until they've entered your PIN or your password or whatever, which can make it a really secure way of ensuring that the person who has your phone is only using that one app that you gave it to, whether it's you want someone to look through your photos or you're having a child play a game or something. It's a really easy way to make sure that they stay on that one app. The next one that we're going to look at is Ultra Power Saving Mode, which you can access from the notification shade by going to U Power Saving. Or we can just back out of here, go to the settings menu, go to battery, and go to Ultra Power Saving Mode. So you can kind of see what it'll look like with this little preview, but it basically turns your screen black and white or grayscale, and it simplifies everything. So there's only a few apps that you can use. It limits your phone's performance and it limits background data, but it should allow you to squeeze hours out of a few percentages of battery. So I'm not going to turn that on right now because it would end my recording. But that is a unique feature to Samsung devices. A lot of devices have a regular power saving mode, which Samsung also has, but the ultra power saving mode really takes it another step. You could really squeeze a lot of life out of that. All right, so the last one is easy mode, which is really for people who find smartphones too complicated, mostly for older people because it makes the font and everything really big. So I'll turn that on right now. And as you can see, my home screen is now, everything is huge and simplified. If I go into my settings menu, you can see that all of the fonts and everything are much bigger again. So I'm just going to go back to standard mode. But that's a really great feature if you're setting up a phone for an older family member, or if you just find Samsung's version of Android to be too complicated in the first place. It gives you a much more simplified version of the smartphone. So that was a look at some of the best features for the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge. But be sure to check out the article on makeuseof.com if you want to see these a little bit more in depth. All right, have a great day.